Yeah, but I'm, but because I've always valued and honoured what it is to be a musician, which that might sound a little pretentious or highfalutin. So what, I'm pretentious, but the life, creative life, in my case, playing the guitar and being in rock bands, was something that I grabbed at a really, really early age, and a little bit like a life belt, to be honest. At sort of 10 or 11, 12, I started to be aware of the idea of a musician being a job for life or a vocation. I'm sure there's there's probably some people who know how that feels here tonight, if not all of yous. Having a passion about something, in my case it was records and playing the guitar. Both those things came at the same time. I had a knack for playing this toy guitar and making it sound not like a toy, and then started to write songs. At the same time that I realised that rock culture and pop culture and the business of making records was just something almost mystical, and really, and I just put all that together when I was about 11, 12, and decided first and foremost that I wanted to be an expert at it. I wanted to know everything there was to know about it, so I watched every single crappy, back in the 70s this was, crappy television program, comedians and light entertainment nonsense, because they would always have a band on. I didn't discriminate whether it was a pop band, a New Seekers or Brotherhood of Man, I drew a line with that sort of stuff. But if they had a band playing, they had musicians, people miming, holding instruments. Okay, that's a Sunburst Les Paul, that's a Fender Precision bass, that's, that drummer's not really playing, they look like plastic cymbals, and completely analysing the hell out of it. And so it was a super passion, and running parallel with that was this relationship I had with the guitar. So it wasn't just about, wanting to be rich and famous or wanting to make a load of dough, because when you're that young, 10, 11, I mean, it really kind of started a little younger, 8 or 9, because I come from a family of musical obsessives, where I saw this obsession in my parents, particularly my mother, for records. When you're that young, 8 or 9, you're not thinking, I'll do it for fame, or I'll do it for dough, or do it to attract the opposite sex or whatever. It's something else, it's a vocation. So I was pretty unusual in that regard. And then the relationship I had with the guitar was great, because it was something that I used to fetishize and love and still do. But it also was a way of me having my own sort of private, a little bit like the way people do diaries and journals. So I was able to be like a fairly typical working class boy, in a city boy in the 70s, and play football and be outgoing and be a bit of a street kid. But because I had this thing about playing the guitar, it was satisfied a side to me that is very quiet and sensitive even, and intense and introspective. So whenever I meet people and they ask me about playing the guitar, well, particularly playing the guitar, I can say that, well, one of the things about it is that it can make friendships. It's great for being sociable. You can find friends, but then when you've had enough of them, you can just fuck off and play the guitar on your own, and be really private. And it's also a portable thing that you can take around with you. So it meant that what playing the guitar was and could be was all of those, everything I've just explained and more really. So it's given me a really amazing life. And to get back to your original question about how I behave, I sort of, there's a big part of me that tries to honour that journey that I went on. And I see myself as being particularly fortunate because it could have turned out that no one wanted to listen.
So in that
Then
journey,
where would I have been?